Hello and welcome to the series of videos about SDF. In this video, we will see an example application which we will use throughout the series to understand the features of SDF. So let's quickly get ourselves familiar with the project structure and components. It's a simple application which creates and fetches a record, for now just the book record. So we have our model classes, that is we have a parent class that is record. It's an abstract class. It has a type, name, and the attributes, right? Fairly simple, just for the sake of demo, right? And then we have its implementation. There is only one implementation for now, that is book. It has two constructor, name and name with attributes. Then the type is book, so it calls the super with book, and it has a toString like this. So in the toString name it shows and the attributes in the next line. Then we have a storage or register, right? We have iStore, which has like two methods. One for storing, so it takes an ID, and a base64 implementation. And then we have a retrieve, which retrieves the base64 value stored against the ID. Then we have our ID generator. There is an interface which generates an ID, and here we have the implementations. So we have object store for the iStore, right? We have a path. It saves in the current location, and it just writes the value into a file. That's it. Nothing fancy about it. Okay. And then we have a UID generator which extends the ID generator. So we have our model classes, book, which is a type of record, and then we have iStore, only one implementation, that is object store currently, and then we have a UID generator for the ID generator. Now we have the main service which actually performs all the operations. So again, demo service, it takes a object of type record, it creates a record and returns the associated ID. So basically it creates the ID first, sets the ID with the record, and returns the ID after creating the record. And we have a fetch which takes the ID and the type of record. For now it will be all book, and it returns the book fetched by that ID. So here is the implementation class, right? So again, nothing fancy. For the demo purpose, it takes an object, it just serializes to a byte array, then converts it to a base64 and calls the store method of the iStore. And before that, it generates the ID, right? Similarly, for fetch, it calls the retrieve method of store with the ID, then converts it back to a byte array and deserializes back to the expected class. All right. Now, without any DI, how we would have to write something like this. We have to do the initialization part. Okay, I think I forgot to show you this. Let's see this. So demo service, which is demo record service, which is a implementation of the demo service that is dependent on two things. One is the ID generator and an iStore. So without a DI, we would have to write something like this. First, we have to initialize or create the instance of a iStore and ID generator. Then we will pass the generator and the store instances and get our demo service, right? Once we get the demo service, here is like some sample code. Like I'm creating a book of name Head First Java, author is Kathy Sierra, and the year published is 2003. Then I'm calling the create API of the service instance with the book. I'm getting back the ID which I'm printing here, and then I'm fetching the book by that ID, and I'm printing the same book here. Okay, so let's quickly run it and see if everything is working, right? So as you can see, a book is created with this ID, fetching the book with this ID, and the book is fetched. Then it is shown the details of the book here, right? As we saw in the object store, the records are created in the local file system files. So as you can see here, inside files, something is created, some file is created, and the ID is exactly the same like this, right? So this is created here. That's all for this video. I think we have a fairly detailed understanding of this project, which we will be using to see all the features about SDF in the next series of videos. Until then, happy learning and happy coding.